Hello, Mark. Thanks a lot for being willing to talk to me today about the quality assurance app at Cablex, a solution we are working on for quite some time now. We meaning Platformation and Cablex. Before we dive right into the first question, please introduce yourself and let us know a little bit about what Cablex is actually doing.
Yes, thank you very much. Cablex is a subsidiary of Swisscom, and we build telecommunications infrastructure. So telco networks, wireline and wireless. That's about 80% of our work. We also work on electrical installations, electrovoltaic, for example. But the main content of our work is telecommunication networks. And Cablex has about 2,500 employees and about another 1,000 external people as an external workforce working for us. So when I look at my organization, it's about 3,500 employees I need to look for. And I'm Chief Digital Officer. I'm responsible for digitalization and digital transformation of Cablex.
All right, and now that we are talking about the QS app a little bit more in detail, our conversation started some time ago. You said you have the solution running on the Microsoft Power Apps platform, and you would like to say modernize it and rebuild it on the ServiceNow platform. What were for you the main reasons to make that switch?
Allow me to go a couple of steps back. When we started to collaborate with Swisscom on using AI in quality checks, we needed a tool and capability to give our people out in the field to actually do the checks with AI. And we needed an easy MVP to start working, more of a prototype to start working with. And we did that on Microsoft Power Platform that we had at our hands available in a sandbox platform. And that allowed us, in collaboration with Swisscom, to really develop that capability to use AI in quality checks. And that became a very successful application that quickly was adapted by one business unit in doing the quality testing. But it was always built and never meant for a scalable application for that intensive use and that critical operations. So we basically had an application running an environment that was never built or never intended for production. So on top of it, we had other applications that we had. Some applications were custom built, some applications were power apps, yet others were not fully automated yet. So we were looking for a platform that would allow us, on one hand, to easily develop new applications, be that on the PC, but also on an iPhone, on a mobile handheld, to automate our workforce out in the field. And we wanted a platform that was not in conflict with our SAP platform or with our documentation platform that we're having, so could easily integrate into that. And we needed a platform that allowed us to, from an IT perspective, to also to govern those processes. We have a big workforce using those applications today, so we need to make sure that we don't have any interruptions, and if we do, then they're controlled and quickly maintained. And from that perspective, ServiceNow was a very attractive option. We already used it internally for our ITSM processes, and now have expanded it and are using the full range of capabilities. And of course, we profited from capabilities and know-how that Swisscom had in ServiceNow. So that, of course, we were also well advised from Swisscom to use the ServiceNow platform to develop on.
All right. So as I understand you, you're looking for a platform which can quite easily be integrated in your existing IT landscape, and also allows you, let's say, to use existing workflows, but also to build some more, let's say, tailored stuff to match your processes. What other expectations did you have when you decided to move over to ServiceNow, specifically looking also at the QS app?
Yeah. We really liked the capability to easily develop automation. So in low code capabilities that we have available. But of course, we also need the capability to develop more complex solutions that might not be available. And that both is possible and can be done with ServiceNow. On top of it, it was important for us that we really work well with SAP. That is our core system where a lot of data resides. So we needed to have a platform that would work really well with SAP, and ServiceNow did that magnificently.
All right, yeah. So indeed, the integration capabilities are endless there. For the QS app, I think this is really supporting one of your, let's say, core business processes there, right? How many users are using the solution currently in your everyday work?
Yeah, today we have about 2,500 of our workforce out in the field using the Quality app. And you can think of the Quality app as an application that we give our employees and our partners to do quality checks after they completed their work. So when we do an installation of a building entry point, we document what we have done, and that information is being communicated back to our mother company, to Swisscom, for them to see that we have completed the type of work. But it also helps our employees to understand whether their work has been done correctly and has been done in the right order and in the right quality check. So that's a quality application that comes at the end of the workflow, where it is like a measurement tool almost that our employees use after completing their tasks. And we started off with having individual checklists for the different business units. So when we said, okay, now that we want to redo it, we want to develop an application that is capable of addressing all business units' needs, so that we have basically one quality tool, and depending on the use case you're working on, be that in wireless, be that in wireline, you're guided and you have the dedicated tasks, only the ones that are relevant for you, and the app helps you to walk them through and execute them. And of course, we a little bit talked about Diplomatic already. It was very crucial for us that integration worked really well, because we're using AI in some of those quality checks, not all of them, but some of them. So it was really crucial for us to work with Diplomatic and that we could integrate with it.
All right, yeah, standardizing the work for different business units and rolling a solution like this out to thousands of users can, of course, come with some challenges, especially when it comes to the acceptance of the solution. So I'm curious to hear, let's say, how did the employees who work on the solution on a daily basis see the solution or receive the solution, and were there any specific steps you took to support the acceptance of it?
Yeah, well, we of course had quite a bit of experience already with the first MVP that we had developed, and from there we could already learn what could be done better in a second iteration, and what we would do differently. Then we integrated our teams, members from the field, straight into the development of the application. We did that with all business units. So even we didn't roll it out for all business units at the same time. They were all included at the very beginning as we developed the new app, because we always had the vision in mind that we wanted one tool that would be applicable for everyone. So all those requirements were taken very early on board, and that yielded in an application that is being used and is being accepted by all business units. Of course, on one or the other point, we had to do some trade-offs, because we couldn't fully customize it to only one business unit only. But overall, we have a very high acceptance of the application. Now, the application having an AI tool as part of it is, of course, also a certain challenge. I mean, in the end, we have an AI double checking the quality of the work and giving feedback of the quality of the work. So that also required a certain acceptance of our people to understand that it's not a machine telling them whether they do the work right or wrong, but explaining to them that it was like an additional, like a measurement almost, where you would be able to measure your work, whether it has been fully completed and accepted. And we did that also by schooling. So we really went out to the different locations, and we showed our staff how to use the tools and to interact them, and to be able to use it out in the field. And then I think what also was crucial, we ramped up a support unit in the very beginning, a hypercare phase where we anticipated that some issues might occur, so we were able to react very quickly. And then also having a direct communication to our support unit who are immediately responsive. You can imagine if 2,500 people cannot work, then we have a big dip in our productivity. So we have a very strong focus on enabling our workforce to be as productive as we can.
Yeah, right. It's very interesting to see everybody's, of course, talking about AI nowadays, but to see how much you integrate artificial intelligence already in your business processes and in which way you're doing it. This is very interesting to see. And as, of course, with ServiceNow being a platform which comes already with native AI tools and features and capabilities, but also in your case, the ability to quite easily integrate it with external AI tools, like in this case, the Diplomatic AI. I'm wondering, besides the ease of integration and now the ability to scale the solution over different business units, are there any other benefits you perceive or you see since you switched to the ServiceNow platform?
Yes. What we really are seeing already today is we now talked a lot about the QS app, so the quality. That's in the very end, at the end of the process. But we are also using ServiceNow at the beginning of the process when we do what we call a site acquisition. That's basically the collecting of data and information that we need in order to do the building of the project. And now that it is all on the same platform, we can easily or easier integrate those data as of today. It's also something I would slightly do different in the future. So I would keep that vision even stronger at the front of our minds as we develop those capabilities. But already today, we can see by having it on the same platform that allows us to automate this flows between these different processes.
Yeah. So Platformation and Cablex are already working together for quite some time now on different topics around ServiceNow and digitalization. The QS app being one of them. So I'm wondering, how do you, let's say, experience the collaboration with Platformation, and is there anything which was specifically very important for you when it comes to our collaboration?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, as I mentioned, we have as we started with ServiceNow, we were working very closely with the experts from Swisscom on ServiceNow. And since we had multiple processes that we wanted to automate, we needed more capacity. And since Platformation and Swisscom already had a partnership by working well together, we decided to use that for us also and engage with Platformation directly to bring their capabilities, their skills, and their workforce to the table for us to develop those solutions, and that worked nicely. So it's not always easy when you have kind of like two providers, but we feel that exactly that worked really well. On top of it, by your professional understanding of our challenges and the mix of you being on site but also being able to work off site. That worked really well. I had the feeling we had a very good communication. We understood very much what was going on, and we also learned well. I think we are a lot more mature in executing such a project now that we are in release 3 than we were at the very beginning, and we were able to do that together and jointly, and that has really been very fruitful for us and I'm sure for Platformation as well.
Oh, definitely. Yes, I couldn't agree more. Yes. Cablex really it sees the potential in which ServiceNow has, and really the strategy is clear, expanding the footprint in the company and building tailored solutions and using what is there already. So I'm curious, let's say, based on your experience, which industries or type of companies would you recommend making a switch to ServiceNow or to expand the footprint of it in the company?
I think ServiceNow can be a really strong instrument for companies that has multiple steps of automation that need to interact and that they can use on the ServiceNow platform to have a whole workflow out in the field. That's what we are doing as well. So we have these individual process parts that we now have automated and supported by ServiceNow, but we of course going to go further and integrate this together. And that is a lot easier when you do that on a ServiceNow platform than when you do that with custom applications that all have their own worlds they live in. And then companies who, for example, run an SAP platform will benefit from the ease of integration between ServiceNow and SAP that has come very handy for us. But also working with platforms that are not part of the established platform. Our document platform, DocGenie, worked really well, that integration with ServiceNow as well. So that would be my it's all companies wanting to do those type of automation.
All right. I want to slowly start wrapping things up, but I have one more question to you, Mark, and that is, let's say, what plans do you have for ServiceNow and maybe additional processes or solutions in the future? So just what is your vision with the platform, let's say?
Yeah. The next step that we are working on is, as I mentioned, we have the beginning of the process and the end of the process. We now have a good workflow tool for our staff to work with, and we want to close the gap. So we want to guide our people out in the field also as they do their construction work and help them with all the different tasks that they need to do. That could be security installations to secure a construction site, for example. So there are a lot of those processes that now can be automated and can be made available, and we want to have that in a seamless flow for our employees, even not realizing that they might be working in one tool or the other tool. That should be a seamless experience, a little bit like on my iPhone, when I use my phone, it automatically uses the phone book to look up an address. So that's the type of experience I envision, and I'm confident that we will be able to do that with ServiceNow. So we are filling the gaps from the beginning at the end of the construction process. What we are also doing is we want to extend it forward to the customer. So we are really thinking of how can we create a portal that when we have time scheduled, for example, for our site visits, that the end customer by this can also themselves determine what kind of interaction they want to have with us and in what form. And then we have a whole set of applications that are not full integral part of that process, but are still need to be somehow automated, and we also want to see how we can use that in ServiceNow to make those like individual tools. I don't know, management of equipment or as I mentioned, securing, being guided through how do I secure a construction site and all those things. So we see a lot of potential there.
It's very interesting to hear, let's say, where in your ServiceNow journey you are, and also what kind of plans you have still in the future for the platform. I really want to thank you for this insightful conversation, Mark, and I'm looking forward to further collaborate with you.